Hello everybody, and welcome to my next LP. Or rather, a quick little prelude to it. Because this game is going to be taking place kind of late into the series of this franchise. So I figured I'd do my best to get everyone caught up to speed with the backstory and lore and whatnot of all the previous games and other supplementary material that helps to explain everything. So, this here is the story of the Metroid franchise. The tale of Samus Aran and her constant battles against the space pirates led by Ridley. Samus Aran was a little girl who lived on a mining colony, K2L. On this mining colony, the main resource being mined was a fluorotite, a mineral that is universally used as fuel in spacefaring vessels of all kinds. One day, the ancient bird-like people, the Chozo, visited K2L in search of some of the fluorotite for their own private needs. Samus met and befriended one of the Chozo, who had to leave with the rest of his people shortly after being denied the fuel they needed, since there wasn't enough to spare for them. Shortly after the Chozo's departure, a ship containing the dreaded space pirates made its way towards K2L after having tracked down the Chozo to this location. Once they landed on the colony, Samus met up with Ridley for the first time and wanted to befriend him. Ridley turned down the offer and attempted to murder the 3-year-old Samus in cold blood. Instead, Samus's mother intercepted Ridley's fireball, killing her instantly. Amidst that horror of a sight, the space pirates raided the colony and under Ridley's commands, sought out to eradicate every single resident of the colony and to leave no survivors. Samus's father boarded one of the space pirates' cargo ships in order to prevent them from making off with the fuel, and ended up destroying the supply by detonating it and the ship it was on with him still on board. After realizing their mission was a failure, Ridley orders the space pirates to fall back, leaving the colony in ruins. Sometime afterward, the Chozo return to the ruined colony and find that only the young Samus survived the slaughter. They take her in as one of their own and return to their home planet, Zebes. It is there where the Chozo infused Samus with Chozo DNA to help her survive in the planet's harsher environment. As she grew up over the next few years, the Chozo trained Samus in their ways of the warrior while giving her her own power suit, a set of armor capable of many great things. Sometime during her training, there were some giant butterflies that were wielding machine guns that they grabbed from the corpses of space pirates. That was weird, but they were some sort of space butterflies, so maybe that was normal for them. After some disagreements with the way the Chozo did things, Samus leaves Zebes to join the Galactic Federation as a bounty hunter, aiding in keeping the galaxy safe from the likes of the space pirates and other threats. After discovering that her former home is under attack from space pirates, Samus travels through the caverns of the planet Zebes to stop the space pirates from exploiting the Metroid species for galactic domination. She confronts the cybernetic lifeform Mother Brain, as well as its guardians, Kraid and Ridley. With all three of them seemingly gone for good, Samus takes her leave of the planet. Afterwards, Samus is ambushed by space pirates, and her ship crash lands back to the surface. Stripped of her power suit and her gunship destroyed, she is forced to infiltrate the space pirate mothership in order to find a way off the planet with only her paralyzer for protection. After receiving a fully powered suit from deep within the ruins of Chizodia, she steals a space pirate fighter ship from the space pirate mothership, after triggering its self-destruct sequence with the elimination of the Ridley robot. Sometime later, Samus intercepts a distress signal from the space pirate frigate Orpheon, whose crew have been slaughtered by the pirate's own genetically modified experimental subjects. At the ship's core, she battles with the Parasite Queen, a giant version of the tiny parasites aboard the ship. The Parasite Queen is defeated and falls into the ship's reactor core, initiating the destruction of the ship. While Samus is escaping from the doomed frigate, she encounters a revived cybernetic version of Ridley, called Meta Ridley. During her escape, an electrical surge and explosion destroys her suit upgrades, forcing her to revert to her original power suit. Samus escapes the frigate and chases her nemesis in her gunship towards the nearby planet Town 4. Samus initially lands on Town 4 at a rainforest location referred to as Town Overworld. After a brief period of exploring, she discovers the Chozo ruins, the remains of the Chozo civilization. After further investigation, Samus learns that many years ago, the planet was struck by a meteor, which carried with it a substance the Chozo call the Great Poison, commonly known as Phazon. The meteor also contained a creature called the Worm. The Chozo built an artifact temple over the crater to contain the Worm, and to stop the Phazon from spreading over the planet. The temple's sealed entrance is controlled by 12 Chozo artifacts, which must be found to gain access to the crater. After obtaining the various suit in the ruins, Samus finds her way to the Magmoor Caverns, a series of magma-filled underground tunnels, which are used by the space pirates as a source of geothermal power and connect the areas together. Following the tunnels, Samus travels to the Phendrana Drifts, a cold, mountainous location which is home to an ancient Chozo ruin and space pirate research labs used to study Metroids, as well as ice caves and valleys, home to electrical and ice creatures. After obtaining the gravity suit in Phendrana, Samus explores the interior of the crashed Orpheon, and then infiltrates the Phazon mines, the mining and research complex which is the center of the space pirates' Town 4 operations. Here she battles Phazon-enhanced space pirates and obtains the Phazon suit after defeating the monstrous Phazon-mutated Omega Pirate. No relation. During her exploration of Town 4, Samus finds the 12 keys to the artifact temple and the lore recorded by the Chozo and the space pirates, providing insight into the history of the planet and the two races' colonization of it. As Samus puts the final key in place, Meta Ridley appears and attacks her. Samus defeats it with help from the temple's defensive artillery. The Chozo artifacts and Phazon suit allow Samus to enter the impact crater, where she finds the so-called Worm, the Metroid Prime, the source of the Phazon on Town 4. After she defeats it, all the Phazon on Town 4 disappears, but the Metroid Prime absorbs Samus's Phazon suit in a final effort to survive, reverting her armor to the gravity suit. Samus escapes the collapsing crater and leaves Town 4 in her ship. In an alternate timeline, Samus managed to pull this off with the power of pinball! The governing body of the galaxy, the Galactic Federation, receives a strange telepathic message. The Federation broadcasts a message to bounty hunter Samus Aran, asking her to investigate and retrieve the ultimate power, and should it prove irretrievable, to keep it secret or destroy it outright. 6 other bounty hunters intercept the transmission and proceed to the Olympic solar system to claim the power for themselves. Through investigation of the planets and space stations that orbit the Olympic sun, Samus gradually pieces together the history of the Olympic race. She discovered that they were a peaceful, spiritual, highly evolved society. The Olympic utopia was shattered when a comet struck the planet, Alanos, and out of it emerged a monstrous creature named Goria. The creature copied the cellular structure of the Olympics, physically mimicking them and their weapons, and destroyed their civilization. Unable to stop Goria's rampage, the last of their race transformed themselves into focused telepathic energy, then confined Goria into a seal sphere, which they placed on a starship called the Oubliette. The ship was launched into a dimensional rift called the Infinity Void, to be released only when 8 keys called Octoliths were assembled. After warding off the other bounty hunters, Samus retrieves the 8 Octoliths and opens the Infinity Void. Here, she and the other 6 hunters confront Goria, who originated the telepathic message in an attempt to free itself. After the beast absorbs the powers of Samus' rivals, she defeats Goria using the Olympic weapon called the Omega Cannon. As Samus and the other hunters evacuate from the exploding Oubliette on their respective ships, 3 Olympic spirits appear before an armorless Samus and honor her with a salute. Samus is sent to investigate the planet Aether after communications with the GFS Higher was lost. Samus finds them all dead, killed by several creatures, mainly consisting of an evil race called the Ing. Upon meeting one of the several remaining members of the Luminoth race, Eumos, Samus learns Aether has been split into 2 dimensions by a meteor similar to the one that crashed on Talon 4. Samus helps restore the Light of Aether to the planet, and eradicates the Ing along with Dark Aether. She also encounters Dark Samus, the result of Metroid Prime snatching away her Phazon suit in its dying moments. Samus, unknowing what troubles her dark counterpart would cause her in the future. Samus and 3 other bounty hunters are called upon by the Galactic Federation to repair the Aurora units and investigate pirate operations. The pirates attack the nearby planet Norion during the briefing. Samus and the hunters restore the defense cannon before a Leviathan seed launched by Dark Samus and the pirates, who are aided by Meta Ridley, can corrupt the planet. But Samus and the hunters are corrupted by Dark Samus in the process. A month passes, and Samus is given a new PED suit and mission to destroy the remaining Leviathan seeds and discover what happened to the other hunters that the Federation lost contact with on 3 worlds: Rio, Elysia, and the pirate homeworld. Time soon grows short as Samus herself struggles with her own corruption, which the other hunters have fallen to, and she is forced to kill each of them. She eventually travels to Phase, the source of all Phazon. Once on the planet, Samus overloads on Phazon and hurries to the core of the planet before she succumbs to total Phazon corruption. Along the way, Samus encounters and defeats a corrupted Meta Ridley, now known as Omega Ridley. After his defeat, Ridley sheds his Phazon corrupted armor and retreats into the shadows to fight another day. She destroys Phase and Dark Samus, thus destroying all Phazon in the universe. After the Phazon crisis, the space pirates were weakened, but were still a threat. To this end, the Galactic Federation initiated Operation Golem to create mechs for the purposes of achieving technical superiority over the pirates. The mechs are controlled by an elite group of Marines known as the Federation Force. The Force discovers a significant space pirate presence in the Bermuda system and aims to destroy it across the 3 planets of the system with assistance from Samus Aran. Samus is captured by the space pirates, brainwashed, and forced to attack the Federation soldiers, who manage to bring Samus back to her senses. Okay, this part is a bit of speculation for what the overall plot of Metroid Prime 4 will be like, but it seems to be a good educated guess on my part. Silex returns and proceeds to hatch and release the captured Metroid from the Federation base. Samus is tasked with taking out both Silex and his Metroid or Metroids before they can wreak havoc on the galaxy. At some point following the Bermuda System mission, the Galactic Federation deemed the Metroids to be too dangerous to exist, and after their own failed attempts, employ Samus to travel to the Metroid homeworld, SR-388, and exterminate the entire species. After killing every Metroid, Samus finds an unhatched egg sac. As she prepares to destroy it, a Metroid larva pops out and believes Samus is its mother. It follows her back to her ship, and Samus hands it over to the Galactic Federation for research. Unfortunately, Samus receives a distress signal from the Ceres space station where she took the baby Metroid at the end of her previous mission. She returns just in time to see Ridley stealing the hatchling, and follows him to the rebuilt base on Zebes to stop the space pirates in their new plan to clone the Metroids and use them as bioweapons. She kills the reborn Ridley, Kraid, and Mother Brain, destroying Zebes, the space pirate's leader's remains, and killing the last remaining Metroid. And that brings us to here. Metroid Other M. Hope you enjoyed this LP. And I hope so too.